So our first speaker today is going to be Justin Filip of the Pacific Green Party. Justin was the Green Party candidate for our congressional district in 2024. The Pacific Green Party runs campaigns to speak truth to power, highlight the systemic nature of our problems, expand the conversation on what is possible, and fight for a better future. Justin currently serves as the co-chair of the Eugene chapter of the Pacific Green Party. Justin, the floor is yours.
Thanks, Cameron. Hey, everybody. All right, today we gather here to fight against the billionaire agenda. How about if you're not a billionaire, let's hear you. Let's make some noise. All right. I probably don't need to tell you the billionaire agenda has created immense wealth inequality in this country. Over the last 50 years, my lifetime, the top 1% of Americans have taken $50 trillion from the bottom 90%. If you're not part of the 1%, you're getting exploited. Tomorrow we honor Dr. Martin Luther King. 58 years ago, and less than a year before his death, King said, "Why are there 40 million poor people in America?" When you ask that question, you begin to question the capitalistic economy. You begin to ask questions about the whole society. Today, there are still roughly 40 million people living in poverty, and nearly 800,000 people are homeless. It's estimated that the number of unhoused people has grown by 18% just in the last year. Let's contrast that with, in 2012, Elon Musk, go ahead, let's boo it. 2012, Elon Musk was worth $4 billion. Today, he's worth more than $447 billion. In 2012, Jeff Bezos was worth $18 billion. Today, he's worth more than $249 billion. In that same time, there has been no increase in the federal minimum wage. That few can be so obscenely wealthy while many suffer is an indictment of the whole system. It's immoral. On Wednesday, President Biden warned of an emerging oligarchy or rule by an elite few. Thanks, Joe, but you're a little late to the game. It's been 10 years since a study from Princeton and Northwestern concluded that the U.S. is already an oligarchy. In the most recent presidential election, Trump was backed by 52 billionaires. Harris was backed by 83 billionaires. The other 678 sat it out, presumably because they know they will do well under either administration. For decades, we chose to elect political leaders who put the material interests of the rich and powerful above those of the American people. We can do better. The answer is not Donald Trump. He is not going to drain the swamp. He is the epitome of the swamp. He has used the office of the presidency to enrich himself and his wealthy friends. The Trump administration is going to bring with it its own special set of challenges for we the people. We have some great speakers here with us today who are going to talk a little bit about that. And while the challenges may change over time, they're all rooted in the same rot of greed and oppression. To fight effectively, we must understand who our enemy is. It is not our immigrant neighbor. It is not the poor. It's a capitalist system bent on producing greater and greater profits while exploiting people, their labor, and the environment. Donald Trump may be the latest face of imperialism and capitalism, but it is the capitalist, imperialist system itself that is our enemy. We cannot expect one corporate party with a billionaire agenda to save us from the other corporate party with a billionaire agenda. We need a radical shift that puts people, the planet, and peace before profits. We have a different agenda. And to deliver the alternative, we're going to need an alternative vehicle for change. Be conscious of a media that controls and upholds this system. What stories do they choose to run or not run? Which voices are broadcast on the airwaves and in print? How do they manufacture consent? Be conscious of the ways they try to manipulate the narrative and divide us to keep us from forming class consciousness. We have a lot of great people working on issues that need our attention, but there's also a need to see the connection between all these issues and to organize against the system that creates the conditions for these problems in our society. Dr. King, in the last years of his life, told historian David Halberstam that he had abandoned the incremental approach to social change of his civil rights protest days in favor of pursuing, quote, a reconstruction of the entire society, a revolution of values, one which would look uneasily on the glaring contrast of poverty and wealth with righteous indignation. As we honor Dr. King and prepare to fight the next administration, let us continue to come together as we are today to say we do not consent. I will not resign myself to being ruled by oligarchs. Don't forget, there are more of us than there are of them. I'm asking you today to be a visionary, to ask the questions King asked, and to create a better future for everyone, not just the 1%. Thank you.